Mike, Josh, and his show. We're back on the air. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters still right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger Todd, bringing you another solid special that we just love to keep bringing. We just love specials.
It's fun.
It is really fun. Today we're going to talk Fan Friday, and we're going to, some questions from the viewers, like yourselves and, fancy people that want to know that we are the men, that get you all the questions and get you all the answers. So, Brian, let's start some questions.
We appreciate you guys sending your questions in. First question's here from Matt from Atco. What should I do with Todd Gurley? He's been such a disappointment so far this season, and he's killing me. Should I trade him, or should I keep him and hope for an improvement?
See, that's tough, because I still think Todd Gurley's going to have a good year. It's just that the Rams aren't that good of a team. I think if you could trade him and get some good value, absolutely give it a shot. But I personally, if I had him, I think I would hold on to him.
Here's a problem, I think, with Todd Gurley. I think that when he was drafted high this year, nobody really accounted for. They have no quarterback.
No.
So even last year when they had Nick Foles, while that's not a great quarterback, but still you have to at least respect the pass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade him right now. I think his value is at a low, but I think the name has some value. If he has a really blowout game the next week or two, see what you can get for him, see if you can get some value. But I wouldn't just sell him for nothing just to get rid of him. I want to make sure I get some value back. You did spend your first round pick on him in all likelihood.
I mean, besides Tavon Austin, who's a questionable #1 anyway, their receivers are kind of bland, so why not just load up 8 in the box and try to go after them?
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just hard for him to do anything, really.
Exactly.
Expectations are so high as well.
Exactly. Hey, Vince Fluke, Rams stink. All right, let's go to the next question.
Next question comes from Alan from Aramingo Avenue. I guess that's
very nice.
I guess in Philadelphia.
We're going to the Philadelphia guy. Attaboy.
I've been offered a deal in my league. I would be trading Latavius Murray, Michael Floyd, and Gary Barnidge for Kelvin Benjamin, Sammy Watkins, and Kobe Fleener. Should I make the deal?
Does he know Watkins is hurt? I think he does. He's probably just going on the hopes that he stays healthy.
Yeah.
I think you make the deal. I mean, I think you kind of roll the dice and see if Watkins can come back. Benjamin's a solid receiver. And, Fleener gets targets. The Saints might not be clicking or winning right now, but I definitely think if you can pull that trade off, you do it.
So here's the thing about the guys he's sending out, right? Murray's value is down.
Yep.
Floyd's value is down.
Yep.
And Barnes' value is down.
Yeah.
You're getting...
So the guy might not make it.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting... Well, this is apparently what he was offered.
Yeah.
So you're getting back Kelvin Benjamin, who's a #1 receiver.
Yep.
Sammy Watkins, I mean...
Travis Benjamin.
No, Kelvin Benjamin.
Oh, Kelvin.
From Carolina,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm thinking San Diego.
No, Travis, I think, makes more of a question.
Even
Kelvin
better.
Benjamin makes it even...
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the #1 in Carolina. Sammy Watkins is going to be a problem for you, but it's more like a scratch-off ticket if he's going to play the rest of the year. And I think Kobe Fleener and Barnidge, if it's not a push, it's maybe a little bit edge towards Fleener because of the offense.
And the targets, yeah.
Alan, I think you make that deal. I think you take it and run and get out of those players that aren't really performing well and hope Benjamin takes care of it.
Are we both in agreement here?
I think we're in agreement here.
Wow, get that on camera. Okay, let's go to the third question.
We got a question here from David from Hamilton. David asks, what do you think Cam Newton does the rest of the year? It's a loaded question.
I think it's definitely going to be an up-and-down season for Cam Newton. You've seen that already. He's not the Superman that he was last year. And not to say anything about Cam Newton, but they got a tough schedule this year. I mean, it's not like he's running into like the Rams and the Saints all day long. He's got good teams. He's got to learn to adjust Cam Newton and when to run and when not to run. I think that's still shuffling that around a little bit this year. I think it's going to be up and down. It's going to be a roller coaster for him.
And I think part of it, what this year, why he was drafted so high, was because of Kelvin Benjamin coming back. I mean, he's been okay. Yep. He actually had no catches last game.
Yep.
Again, I wasn't as high on Cam this year as a lot of people were. I thought there were better options at quarterback. I mean, he was going before Aaron Rodgers in some leagues. I thought that was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
What do I think he does the rest of the year? I mean, I think he's going to be fine for you. I think you have to start him because you drafted him high, but... if you have maybe the Andrew Luck owner who's not as thrilled with how he started, maybe you can broker a deal where Newton comes out and you bring in Luck and a player, that might be worth it for you, to be honest with you, Dave.
I mean, Cam Newton, like we said, I thought he'd take a step back this year, but he went big in a lot of leagues this year because of the fact that Kelvin Benjamin's coming back, and he had the year that he had last year, but I just think it's going to be rough.
I agree.
So, next question.
Get a starter sit question here from Wayne in Sewell. Wayne asks, should I start Allen Hurns or Tyrell Williams this week? What do you think about that?
I think you start Tyrell Williams. Going against that Saints offense, Saints defense. You look at the Saints, they got peppered by the Falcons last week, who I don't think are that good, and they just tore the Saints apart. I think the San Diego Chargers home this week, you got to start Williams.
Allen Hurns has been a big disappointment for me this year.
Well,
really, the whole Jacksonville offense has been a disappointment for me this year. So, being that he's the #2 in the offense, I really like what I see from Tyrell Williams so far. As we said in the start and sit segment this week, that he's a guy who's getting that wide receiver 2 production because so many injuries on San Diego. Yeah. Allen's out for the year, and it looks like Gates is going to play again. So I'm rolling with Tyrell Williams this week. I think that's going to provide you more upside. From the point side there than Allen Hurns.
You got to look a little bit at the quarterbacks too. Rivers against Bortles. Bortles is really struggling. When I thought he'd get on track this year, Rivers has a balanced attack. Melvin Gordon's playing well.
Sure.
These 2 receivers are a good fit. I mean, he's spreading the ball around. I think that's why Williams works.
Yeah, absolutely.
We agree again. Wow,
we are
scary today.
John from Nesco writes, "Who should I start at quarterback? Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers?"
Oh, the homecoming game.
That's a good problem to have.
That's definitely a good problem to have. And I hate to say it because I like Drew Brees every year. I got to go with Phil Rivers. He's, like we just said, he's got the balance. He's playing well. I mean, who knows when the bottom's going to fall out of the Chargers, which it was supposed to this year. But then again, that was supposed to happen to the Eagles too, and look what happened. But in the same sense, I think you got to go with Phil Rivers. He's home, good receivers, good balance. You got to start Rivers.
I don't think I can say Drew Brees.
Oof.
Going
back home.
And again, I'm going to say both of these defenses. I mean, you guys know we don't like the Saints defense at all. And Mike really doesn't like the Saints defense.
I know.
I don't think the Chargers defense is that much better.
No,
so
I think it's slowed down a little bit.
The thing about Brees is they're not really using Ingram as much. And if they do, he finally actually got his first passing touch of his career last week against Atlanta. I'm going to start Drew Brees, but again, that's a good problem to have. I just don't think you have to. If Drew Brees is playing and healthy, you got to start Drew Brees. I don't think you drafted him to sit him for 4
I mean, the thing is, with their defense being so bad, Brees has to throw to get back in games. So he's going to get a ton of targets. He's going to throw a lot of balls.
Sure.
That's the reason why. But it's scary. He could turn the ball over, too. So
but a good problem to have.
Exactly.
I mean, I could see Rivers outscoring Brees.
If I had Rivers and Brees, that'd be a hell of a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our last question comes from Ryan in Merchantville. Ryan asks, "I have both Spencer Ware and Jamal Charles on my roster. With the news that Jamal Charles is coming back but appears to be limited, who should I start? Should I start both of them and sit Charles Sims?" Buck fan.
Yeah, well, Charles Sims is the #1 guy right now until Doug Martin comes back, and he's getting carries. But when you talk about the Chiefs, Jamal Charles, he is a good player coming back. But I think you got to, like we were talking earlier, you got to go with Spencer Ware until Jamal Charles makes a mark still. I mean, I definitely think that's the move. Do you start both? If you could start Charles Sims in that phrase, start Spencer Ware and Charles Sims.
I wouldn't start them both. I'm of the thought process here that I want to see Charles on the field before I put him in my lineup. So I'm going to go with Spencer Ware again this week. My expectations are a little brought down a little bit because Charles is going to get carries, no question about it. But you just don't know in his first game back after all this time if they're going to lean on him. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to try to ease him back in. Right. So given your situation, Ryan, I would start Spencer Ware and I would start Charles Sims. Again, he is the #1 guy there. There's nobody really there. Is it Jaquiz Rogers is behind him?
Yeah.
I don't really think that. I'm not really.
He's more of an up back blocking too. So.
And the thing about Sims, they're playing Denver. Is that correct?
They are playing.
So it's a tough defense, but you should expect Charles Sims to get some catches out of the backfield. So I think you may see his rushing numbers come down this week against Denver's defense, but I expect to see a little bit more of that Gio Bernard type thing where he's catching balls out of the backfield and getting you positive points that way. So I would go with Ware and Sims.
I mean, personally, I think Sims is in trouble this week with Denver, but in the same sense, like Brian says, he's going to get some catches out of the backfield. They're going to give him the rock. They're going to try to run the ball in Denver. So. We'll see what happens.
But guys, thank you for your questions. We appreciate. Keep them coming. Mike, you have something you want to mention?
Absolutely, Brian, I do. This is something we're going to give away on the Sports Box. That's right. We're going to give away in a little contest we're going to have. And folks, I was in Dallas probably not too long ago, probably 2-3 months ago, and as everybody knows, well, I am a kicker, and I was a kicker in high school and college. And this is a ball that I bought on the field, and went on the Dallas Stadium field and actually kicked 2 field goals from 30 yards. And yes, folks, they were good. So, you guys out there think I missed it. I did make both field goals, actually one barefoot. But it does have...
Yeah, that hurt?
Yeah, it's all right. Really? It was a sock on, it's fine. Okay. So it does have the scuffs on it. It's actually a ball that was used on the field. Game-kicked ball. Well, not actually a game ball. Practice ball. So if you write in next week on Fantasy Friday when we do our questions like this, if your question gets on the air and we really like it, me and Brian both agree, which we're agreeing now, but we like that question, you get the ball sent to your house. Official practice ball kicked in Dallas on the field, folks. Gotta love it. Write in, give us some questions. Remember, we always got some good stuff coming at Sports Box. Great specials. You got to subscribe to us.
And, of course, if you want to ask us those questions, obviously we're on Twitter at SportsBoxShow. You can email the SportsBoxShow@gmail.com. You can comment on our YouTube video, which I hope you're subscribing to, and also on our Facebook page. So feel free. You have a lot of ways to, whether all that, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, whatever. Make sure we get your note. Make sure we get
I like this show. Word where his vocab gets great every day. Remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters. It's right here. Thanks for watching. And for God's sakes, make sure you subscribe.
Really? What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, what's wrong? See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.